Okay, so my new build that I'm working on is going to be an ITX based build, and I'm going to use an ITX motherboard from Zotac, which is an AMD socket. And then on the side there to kind of show what we got: built-in graphics, got DDR2 memory up to 4 gigabytes is what I'll be using, is 4 gigabytes. And then the rest of the stuff is there. So I'll give you guys a quick look at the board itself. Here we are, I've got the DIMM slots up there. This is only a 20 pin, and then you got a 4 for the CPU. So I think that's why we're limiting it to a 65 watt TDP max. And then on the back side's PS2, we got a VGA, some USB, gigabit LAN, audio. There's the PCI by 1. And then a heatsink there, SATA 2, so that's 3 gigabits a second. So yeah, not a whole lot going on here. A couple of USB front panel headers there, and then I've seen a couple of fan headers. There's a CPU fan header, and I believe there was another fan header here as well. Yeah, not a whole lot going on, like I said, but I think it's going to get the job done. It's awfully small, which I thought was kind of cool for a little mini build. So that'll be the motherboard that I'm using in this build. And now I'll show you the rest of the pieces. Okay, so for the RAM, I'm just going to use some G-Skill Value RAM DDR2. Nothing real special about it. And then for the processor, I'm going to be using a AMD Sempron to get into that 65 watt TDP. And I don't really see this thing being a real hardcore machine. I think it's going to just be used as just a little baby one, low power, word processing, internet surfing, stuff like that. And now I'll bring out the case. So here is a good look at the case. Really plain Jane, got a power button here, and then that would open the DVD drive. Down here we've got a 3.5 or other drive to fit there, and on the side we have USB 2.0 and audio in and out. Yeah, just pretty simple, lightweight case. And then got a little baby power supply, a Rosewell. It's actually a Rosewell case, I believe, as well too. But we got a little Rosewell 236 watt power supply, which I think will be more than adequate for what I'm doing. And just a real small assortment of cables here, so it should be pretty easy to wire this thing and do some cable management. And since this is a budget build, I'll probably be using like probably a Windows XP version, and also I'll be using maybe like probably less than a 500 gigabyte hard drive. The client is really not going to do a lot with it. It's probably going to sit idle most of the time and then handle some, like I said, very basic web browsing and word processing applications. I don't think that anything is going to get done in here, even as far as video. So I think we're good. But anyway, that kind of sums it up, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on the build. Alright, so here is the Mini ITX build, all completed. I haven't put the top cover on, obviously, so I can show everybody a little bit. Here's the one side. Got the hard drive in there, and then up underneath is where I secured most of the cables. I did not use the 3.5 inch underneath the CD drive here. I just left that open, but if you ever wanted to add like maybe a media card reader, I could add that. And then on the side here was the USB. You gotta be a little finicky there. Okay. And here you can see the rest of the cables. Quite a little bit of a mess. I tried to secure as much as I can out of the way, and then I used a PCI exhaust fan there. Here's the RAM. Spin it around. You can see the back side and the top side. Down here is the processor and the processor fan. I just used the stock AMD fan that came with the Sempron. So that gives you guys a good look at this budget Mini ITX build. And now I will hook it up and get started on some testing and see what you can get out of a budget build. So I have it all up and running, and I've got Windows XP installed. Got the service packs and everything and all the updates going. And I noticed that the CPU fan is pretty loud. At first I thought it was like the PCI fan that I put in, but that I unplugged that, and that CPU fan is considerably louder than anything else in the case. I eliminated everything else. Tried the hard drive, took the PCI fan out. The power supply fan is near silent, but for some reason that CPU fan spins up quite a bit. So I'll probably have to check out that and see if I can quiet it up a little bit. The processor does seem to run a little warm. It's idling in the mid to high 40-degree range. So I'm guessing that I don't have a very efficient heatsink. I did reapply the thermal paste. When I took it off, it didn't seem like I had any issues with the thermal paste, so I reapplied it the same way. I didn't have too little or too much. It was just about right. So I think the efficiency of the heatsink is poor as well too. So I might end up having to switch out to something that will absorb the heat a little better and not knock over the camera. So that'll kind of finish it up for this Mini ITX build. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate whoever watches it. But like I said, I'm just gonna have to further tweak this a little bit before I attempt to give it to the client. But it was a cheap build. It still is successful. I just got a little more tweaking to do on the noise end of it. So that'll wrap it up. And again, thank you guys for watching.